Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today we're going to be showing you guys how to carry as a tank support and really accelerate the games really quickly through really just good decision making. And so we're going to start talking a little bit about Nautilus gameplay, but mostly about the macro decision making. So the starting thing for Nautilus though is I'm actually starting my second ability in lane because of the fact that using the shield gives me free lane priority where I can easily walk up here, auto attack the minions, and just use my shield to just let myself hit the wave, and they deal literally 0 damage to me, as you can see there. And so you can do this anytime that you have a weak early game ADC and you know you're not going to be that strong level 1, because if you're not that strong level 1 and you know that you don't beat the enemy hard on level 1, then there's no reason to take hook, because you're not going to want to hook in anyway, because your Jinx, you know, is not really going to do that much damage. So if I had a Lucian or a Draven and the enemy were weak early game, maybe I'll take hook level 1 to try to kill them. But instead, you're going to watch me play around level 2 instead. I'm going to use the shield to get prio. I'm going to use the fact that I had prio to ward the enemy jungle camp, and then I'm going to walk up on level 2 to level 1 and get a nice little trade early on with the Vayne. You also saw how since we pushed really quickly on level 1, I was able to ward their Krugs. By warding the Krugs, I can see they haven't been cleared yet. Because they haven't been cleared yet, I know the enemy started on their blue side, because they would have cleared the Krugs to start if they started red side. Because they started blue side, I know that they're going to come red side around this time. So I know their jungler is soon going to come here. Vayne makes a really dumb play, and so we get a free kill on them. Shout out Vayne, thank you very much for that. But the main thing here to learn is that I use that information from the jungle pathing to know junglers coming this way. And so because of that, I know, you know, I need to potentially be a little bit safe here, but because of the fact that Jinx got the RNG things, you know, we're fine, but we told her to retreat because, again, we knew Hecarim's coming. Hecarim does indeed show up, and then we just recall now. Another couple things for itemization here, I'm going for Bramble Vest because they have a lot of healing with the Yuumi and whatever. I'm going to go for Frozen Heart because they have an Aurelia, they have Vayne, they have a lot of attack speed and a lot of AD, so very good itemization there. And then after that, I'm going to go Warmogs because I need the HP because I'm building multiple items with mostly armor, mostly, you know, not very much health on them. So that's kind of where the itemization thing is going to come in as well. And so you're going to see here, because of the fact that Jinx can't really get punished by Vayne and Yuumi, I'm going to find a good roam timer, and this is going to be kind of the main thing here. So you see how I was trying to find a trade there. A bit over aggressive, honestly. Didn't really need to do that, but not the end of the world. We were just trying to force something because our jungle was here and their jungler was pathing away, but definitely too aggressive by me. But again, the main thing I'm kind of talking about is that when you're into an enchanter in a weak early game ADC like Vayne, oftentimes if you have a champion with pretty good range and wave clear like Jinx, you know, Zeri, Varus, Ezreal, all these champions are pretty safe. So if you get an early advantage and you see something, you see an angle to do something, then you can look. So here, look how I'm like low mana Vayne, and their jungler's pathing opposite side because we know that because we were tracking their jungler earlier on in the game. And my, you know, ADC is pretty safe. I know that they're probably going to try to gank my Jax here, and so I'm like, okay, let me just hover Jax and try to help him out in case he gets ganked. I'll go help him out with the Aurelia. He ends up actually just being able to kill the Aurelia himself, but say that I, you know, needed to be there, I would have been there. But what you're going to see next is really the important part. It's similar to my video how I show you guys me doing this as the top laner, as the mid laner, and my jungler doing this. You can do this as a top or as a support as well. I'm literally just going to sit on the turret because I know my teammate is safe. And if the jungle comes here, he's going to be safe to a gank. He's a really good split pusher, Jax is. And I'm just going to literally hover here permanently and not let the enemy walk forward. I keep pinging engage because I'm like, dude, if Aurelia comes up, I'm going to ult her. I'm going to hook her if she's not going to do anything. We see Hecarim on the map. We know Hecarim can't be here. So who can be here? Literally no one. Just walk at Aurelia. Don't let her play the game. Literally impossible. I'm just hooking her, making her flash. She has to run. She loses the entire wave under her turret. You know, Hecarim gets a kill on my Singed, but like, who really cares, dude? We're so far ahead here. I'm just walking at her, literally not letting her do anything. And this is just a really, like, the main thing that's going to snowball a lot of the game and give us an early advantage. And again, notice how Jinx is fine there. And the reason Jinx is fine is the reason I explained. It's an enchanter, Vayne Yuumi. Again, we know the enemy jungler's top side because we see his camps are respawning, which we had vision on because of the fact that we got that early lane priority. And I'm literally just sitting here not letting Aurelia do anything, and she is tilted. We're going to get first turret before the first objective even spawns. And then we'll take the recall now. We get ourselves a bunch of gold. Jinx is chilling. Jinx got solo XP the whole time there as well. We'll get this wave and whatever. And now we're just in a very accelerated spot. And so the game is still going to go, you know, a little worse. Later on in the game, you're going to see Hecarim Yuumi is going to end up getting quite fed. But this early game kind of sequence is something I really want to speak about because you can turn a lot of games around there. And so the things that I really understood when I looked at that to make that decision was, again, enemy ADC is not very scary. Jungle's pathing towards my top laner, so I want to cover the gank. My top laner is somewhat low, so is the enemy. my top laner is pretty good gank setup, and Aurelia is pretty easy to gank because she's not the most tanky top laner ever. So those are kind of the factors that I was looking at to determine whether or not I could go there. And now I'm like, okay, let me see if I can hover the bot side here, again, playing around my Jax because they're pretty safe on the dragon side. But obviously we end up seeing like there's not really anything specific going on here. So we just kind of walk up, we're just hovering. Again, notice how I'm really matching the jungler. I'm trying to make jungler's game kind of hard. Make sure that he's not able to do too much because my Jinx is fine in that 1v1, especially since Yuumi is now gone onto the Hecarim. And so we're pretty fine here. We're pretty happy with how everything's going. I do end up getting caught by the Hecarim here, and you're going to see me die. Again, not really the end of the world when you die in a situation like this. Because the main thing is you're getting vision, you're distracting the enemy, you're letting your teammate, again, you can see my teammate can just hit the turret for free. He can get that turret. He gets very strong. If they spend a lot of resources on killing the tank in a situation like that, you're actually not too upset about the death as a whole. Obviously, you know, it's not a great death. I could have definitely avoided it, been a bit safer, whatever. But it doesn't really matter. It is kind of the main thing. It just doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're going to be fine. If you're wondering why I'm going third ability max and then first ability max, it's because I'm normally playing a different build and it's kind of a habit. But shield max is also going to be good with this really tanky build as well. You can kind of do either. You can really max everything on Nautilus for the most part. He's pretty versatile with the maxing too and everything like that. But again here, notice how I keep trying to hover my teammates, just set them up because my Jinx is farming. That turret's already dead. Like I know, you know, maybe I'll hover them, try to help them out. Unfortunately, the enemy, they get there a bit too quick. And so then I just have to leave. And then I'm going to walk to make sure Jax can jump to me. But again, just a lot of hovering. Well, notice how, again, I'm really paying attention to enemy jungle pathing. Really trying to play around that, set my teammates up well. Again, we missed the hook, kind of unfortunate there. We don't get in the best position. We die again. Or we don't die, we get caught, you know, lose a lot of health, teammate dies, whatever. So definitely still a lot of mistakes by us for sure. And those are things to learn from as well. Sometimes when you're making all these plays, you get caught a bit too much or you go a bit too, you know, aggressive. But at the end of the day, we're up 3,000 gold as a team and we're only up 1 kill. And we have that gold is a lot on Jinx, who scales really well. Jax scales really well. So we're getting scaling champions ahead through this playing around turrets and gold bounties, or not gold bounty, turrets and turret plates, these types of things. Also, side note, guys, but I tried recording a Singed video today because Singed rework is broken. And then they're hotfix nerfing Singed, so that's why I'm even recording this video. I recorded a Singed video, went on Twitter, and saw that immediately, and I was very sad. So now I'm recording this video instead. But I want to make a lot of videos about the meta. So I'm going to probably give you guys a video on the Singed rework once the hotfix comes, because I want to make sure I'm talking about the strength that will be relevant to you guys, you know, with the nerfs and everything to that, like that. But the Singed rework is still pretty wild. I think it'll still be strong, but definitely a lot weaker now that I got that hotfix nerf. So I want to share that with you guys. And I'm going to continue to try to get good at kind of the meta champions and give you guys a lot more information on how to win and climb on these new meta picks and champions and all those types of things. Because I think I want to kind of make my YouTube channel a bit more about the meta and helping you guys understand what's meta, rather than me focusing only on climbing by playing Jace and Renekton and all my best champions every game. I'm still going to try to climb very high. Obviously, this season we're still top 20. I think I'm 111 marks in the top 20 right now. So we're definitely still very high up, and I want to make sure I'm always high up so I can give you guys gameplay at the top level. Next season, we're going to be grinding Legendary Q. We're going to try to get everyone to grind Legendary Q. I'll make a video on that when it's closer, because Legendary Q is really going to be kind of the new thing that we're going to try to get everyone playing, just because it'll be a lot more competitive with the solo queue and because it's a LP-based system. So we're definitely going to do that next season, make sure that you guys are grinding to master so you can play as well if you're in North America. We're going to try to get everyone to do that. But in general, we're going to make a lot of videos about the meta and about sort of the best ways to climb in each season, give you guys all of those types of tips, as well as give you guys the general tips that work in every season, like the laning phase, you know, how to play lane phase, how to rotate, certain macro decision making. We're still going to go over all that as well in a lot of videos, but I definitely want to continue to make videos about the meta. I'm not going to play every champion in the game or get good at every champion in the game, but I do want to get good at a lot of the strong champs and give you guys some good counter picks as well to the strong champions. So, you know, if I can find counters to Ambessa or counters to Warwick or these other really strong champions, I'm going to give you guys that information as well. But if we're looking back at this game as well, you can see here how Hecarim is starting to be a big problem. I tried to ult him, didn't really work out. Not the best ultimate either. But you can see how Hecarim is a really big problem at this point with Yuumi. And so we need itemization that's really useful into him, which is why we're getting the anti-heal. We're going to get Warmugs to make ourselves a bit tankier, and we're going to have the Frozen Heart as well. But the main thing is just we need to blow that guy up. If that guy dies, we win, because my team is still very strong. We still scale really well. Again, Every champion on my team scales well. Xin Zhao is the only champ who's not an amazing scaler, but he's still a fine scaler. And so I'm pretty much just trying to find Hecarim. Apparently they had vision there. Unlucky. Probably gonna have to flash out because of that, but it's not the end of the world. And the main thing is just, if we catch him one time, if he makes one mistake, it's good because of the fact that we got our team really ahead early game and everything was just going very well. Even though they got a really fed person, still looking good, and then we blow him up, which is really ideal. And now we're just looking to get the Vayne as well, and we end up winning that fight. Shout out to my team there. I did not play that fight very well. Definitely missed a lot and got, caught on the wall a little bit. But if that's Hecarim gets blown up, that's the main thing that matters. And because of the fact that we played that early game very well to get our team ahead, they're gonna sometimes reward us by doing some good things, popping off. Like we won the lane in the bot lane with the Jinx, and then we went to the Baron lane to help out our Jax right after, and we get them both ahead. That's gonna a lot of times reward you later on in the game as well. Now we try to get the pick onto the Aurelia here. I think I end up dying, but I believe we kill her in exchange. So definitely worth it there as well because we get the turret out of that. Notice all the turrets we've taken too. We've got 2 tier 2 turrets and all of the outer turrets killed already. So we're up 5,000 gold, 5,500 gold, and we're only up 3 kills, and we're also up 2 dragons. So this is really the things that you can do as a support. Like it might be hard to notice, and it's definitely a shout out to my teammates as well in a lot of ways. But a lot of the things that we did here, the decisions we made, are really what got us such a big goal lead and everything like that. Because of the fact that we're playing around these multiple turrets, we're tracking the jungler, we're using the fact that we can get prio early with the second ability to get vision, using that vision to rotate, all these types of things. And Nautilus is one of the strongest supports right now in terms of tank supports as well. So if you are looking for a consistent tank support to play, Nautilus is going to be pretty much the best one you can pick, if not one of the best ones. Alongside things like Thresh. Don't worry about that hook. By the way, that hook was so far off. Thresh is really good. Ornn, honestly, I think Ornn support's kind of underrated. I don't really play Ornn support, but I do think it's really solid. I mean, stuff like Leona still works. A lot of good champions overall. Pretty much any tank support. Rakan, low-key underrated as well. Kind of a good champion, but a little less tanky. And notice again here, my macro, once again, is what's saving this game with this decision making. Notice how I'm just like, I'm going to stall here because the enemy, I know they're going to go Baron because Baron is spawning, so I'm getting vision around Baron. My entire team is on the wrong side of the map. And because of that, we're able to set our team up so that they can at least see what's going on here. And I believe we still lose this fight, but this is the type of thing that you can do as a tank support. Your job is to get vision, to give your team information. And so I need to go stall that fight out because I know the enemy are just going to get it if my team, they're so far away on the wrong side of the map. Everyone's on the wrong side of the map. And so I'm aware, right, objective is spawning. I need vision around that objective. I need to stall at this point because I'm a tank. I don't do anything apart from stall. So I go forward early there. I try to stall as long as possible. Obviously, we end up losing the fight and it still turns out bad. But the decision making is what was important because that's going to win you a lot of games. Make sure as the tank support, you're getting vision around whatever objective is spawning next. You're setting up around that side and you're playing around that side. So when the Baron is the next thing that's coming up, cover those bushes like I did there so you can find people sneaking a Baron in a situation like that. Ward the jungle camps that are on that side of the map so you can find when the enemy jungler is there or when the enemy jungler might be going other side, because if they're going other side, you can sneak the Baron oftentimes or do these other plays like that. So these are the types of things as well that you can do as a tank support that are going to get you a lot of really good information, really good vision, everything like that. Again, obviously didn't work out in this scenario, but we're not really a results focused player, we're focused on the decision making that we make that leads up to these things, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's fine. Again, I'm not necessarily that worried about Hecarim going on me. I'm very tanky, and if he's wasting a lot of time on me, it's better than if he's going on my teammates or something. Obviously, we're going to probably end up dying anyways there, and I could have flashed a bit earlier, but we're just trying to buy the time so our team can find him or whatever. But again, still a mistake by me. I should have flashed out earlier, but luckily the Jinx does get a nice catch there, so shout out to Jinx. I mean, I'm not claiming in any way, shape, or form that I played perfectly this game. I made a lot of mistakes. This flash was goated by the Jinx. Jinx smurfed the heck out of that. So good by Jinx there. Really, really well played. But yeah, I definitely made mistakes by getting caught there a couple times when I shouldn't have, and Jinx clutched it out, so shout out to Jinx for that. Again, when you do make these early game plays to get your team ahead, as much as oftentimes they're going to do nothing with it and throw, sometimes they're going to clutch up for you. And, shout out to them when they clutch up. Really good by them. And we love to see it. So now we have the team popping off there. And because the enemy, again, they only really have one person who's really strong. If that one person makes a mistake, it's really hard. So another thing, for example, if you guys are jungle players or you play carries or whatever, I'm sure you've had the feeling where you're super fed. You made one mistake and you lose the game instantly. That's what the Hecarim's feeling right now. Whereas we're able to spread the lead to multiple lanes. We have multiple people who can pop off and do things in team fights because we got a lot of lanes ahead. And so we have more people who can potentially pop off, whereas they really have everything relying on one person. And obviously with Hecarim Yuumi, it's pretty easy to pop off. Pretty easy to not die as well. But notice how we're going to ignite for the anti-heal as well. We're going to hook him to try to CC him, and we're just really focusing on blowing him up apart, or like alongside anyone else. But mainly the Hecarim is kind of the person we're trying to go for. We're going to ult him here. We're going to try to blow him up, and we do indeed kill him. And if we kill the Hecarim, we pretty much just win the fight, which is kind of the nice thing. Again, you just have that focus on the one individual person, and you're chilling. And then you're going to see me maybe be the dumbest person on the planet in a second. So just pretend you didn't see that, because, you know, just pretend you didn't see it once you see what I'm talking about. I don't know why I did what I did, but I did what I did. I'm gonna basically die under the Nexus in a second for no reason. Sometimes I'm just an idiot, guys. And listen, sometimes we make dumb mistakes, and it happens. But either way, we're just trying to end the game here because we killed 4 of them. We want to see if we can possibly end. We try to blow up the Irelia here, which we do indeed do. And so I'm like, hey team, let's go get it. Honestly, I thought we could maybe blow this up, but honestly, in hindsight, we did not have enough time to blow it up. And I get caught for no reason and die here. Don't know what I was doing. Sometimes your brain just turns off. Really fucking dumb by me. But either way, at least Singe survives and Xin Zhao survives, so we're still kind of chilling, still winnable. Though they're probably going to get another Baron, so we're going to have to stall another Baron, and it's going to be quite tough. But that's the main goal, right? Is just stall the Baron out now after your stupid Nautilus just inted for no reason. Again, though, the main things that we want to learn from this video are those early roams where if you track jungle really well, you can get your team ahead. Later on in the game, when one person on the enemy team gets really fed, make sure you're focusing a lot of your CC on them. That's really the main person to blow up. Because notice how the main times that something happened was Hecarim dying, and as soon as we're able to catch out Hecarim, then we are able to pop off or whatever, just a couple times that we can blow him up. So really focus your CC on that. Shout out to Xin Zhao here for the smite. He's the GOAT. Again, a lot of mistakes by me. I don't really think I deserve to win this game, but I also think there's valuable things for you guys to see, both in terms of my mistakes and in terms of the gameplay early on. So again, being a bit just safer, not making stupid throws like that, it's pretty straightforward. Not a lot to learn from it, just me being dumb. But also a lot of those good early game things, as well as the itemization thing. I think the itemization also helps a lot in this game. The Frozen Heart makes it really hard for a lot of their auto attackers to get much value. The anti-heal, very useful into the Yuumi. And then making sure you have that Warmogs for that additional healing. Another thing about using the T-Rex that I think is really important, guys, is there's 2 ways you can use T-Rex. So when you are earlier on in the game, you're just going to try to get gold from the T-Rex onto like one of your carries, because you're not going to end the game. But when you're in a situation like this where Elder is spawning, I'm using the T-Rex as a tank. Like, I'm straight up like, okay, I just have an extra health bar, and the goal is to get the Elder Dragon from the T-Rex. So I'm just like, let me zone here. Let me make sure my team is chilling. Let me CC whoever goes on my teammates and just try to shield them, protect them, whatever. Notice how we almost save her, but we're not quite able to save her. But then we're just trying to knock him away from our teammates, just protecting our teammates, being very tanky. But then because I'm like, okay, this fight's actually not going that well, let me go over towards the mid lane now instead and start pushing. So I'm kind of like, okay, I can be a tank for a while, and then I'm going to pressure the side after, because now the fight's not going well. Singe pops off anyway, so it's fine. But notice how even if we did lose that fight, we'd be at least pressuring the turrets, and it'd be hard for the enemy to kind of decide between one or the other. And so then we end up ending the game here. So pretty messy game. Like I said, I was trying to get you guys a Singed game. We'll try to get you a Singed game with the rework once the new hotfix comes out as well. I hope that this video was still, you know, valuable for you guys, especially with that kind of early support gameplay. I think that can be the main thing to really learn from this. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do coaching for $15 an hour, so if you're interested in that, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, or through the link in the description. I also have memberships on my YouTube channel. It's just $5 a month. You get access to my coaching notes. I have like 40 pages of coaching notes, roughly. You get videos early, so you get to see any video usually 12 to 18-ish hours early. And you also get some shout-outs and some other cool things. So shout out to my members, Senna, DavDGoat, David Damasio, JB, Bloop, Kobe Cesar, Pablo, Phycop, 2 people whose names I cannot pronounce, The Creator, Don WR, Basic Identities, Mihai, and Tahara77. Thank you all very much for being members. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.